and these people that are in this documentary aren't just like conspiracy theorists. They're historians, which that's
right. They're archaeological experts.
Yes.
They're fucking biologists, scientists, geologists.
They're former Navy officers with
military
high clearance.
experts.
Yes. What about the old guy that Hitler was really into the occult? They had he was trying to work on different things such as time travel, and he was trying to build UFOs himself. They have videos of it, or maybe not. Yeah, videos. You could terraform it,
bro.
Couldn't you?
You're going to you're an alien. You're flying to Earth. Oh, this is an interesting planet. Let me go to this cool looking area. Oh, it's a desert. It looks like nothing's here. Guess that's the whole planet.
Hey guys, welcome back to ScareMeTender. We're your hosts, Will,
Tanner.
Today we are going to jump right into, I don't know if anybody's seen this documentary, but we're going to be talking about the documentary Above Majestic. Came out in what, 2017?
2017.
2017. And
go ahead and get your glass. It's probably one of the most eye-opening forms of media I've ever watched up to this point in my life.
Yeah.
It uncovers so many secrets about stuff that you are scratching your head the entire fucking time. It's two and a half hours long. I think it's 2 hours, 12 minutes.
So yeah, basically it runs through a lot of different stuff. We're gonna hit some of the high points.
I just watched it, so I think for me to remember most of it, I'm going to try to remember chronologically what I watched.
Right.
And it started out,
and then I'll
started out with before World War II, while Germany, during World War II, before the end of it, while Germany was starting to fall.
Yes.
And the Nazi regime was starting to fail. They started going into these occult practices and focusing heavily,
right? Which
on
I already
controversial.
I already knew that Hitler was really into the occult. They had he was trying to work on different things such as time travel, and he was trying to build UFOs himself. They have fucking videos of it, or maybe not. Yeah, videos.
Dude,
where of just like
the model of the saucer.
Yes, just rotating with the chains on it.
Right, yeah, I saw that. But the regular flying saucer model that everyone alive now has seen in media, it was created by Nazis.
Most people think that this is just a bunch, not bullshit, but that Hitler was just a nut. This didn't go very far because he couldn't achieve most of the stuff he was trying to pull off. There are people, though.
I think he had an ultimate goal for not the Nazi regime to... I think he had a plan for power to...
basically...
for a lateral movement.
Basically, this
in the most low-key way possible, and that's Operation Paperclip.
Well, basically... We'll get into that in a sec. Basically, the Nazis... This documentary puts out there that the Nazis were actually in communication with a reptilian alien race called the Draco Reptilians. You've probably heard of them. And that through a medium, they had a channeler named, I can't remember her name, but it doesn't matter. She was a Nazi too, Nazi bitch. And that the Dracos, they gifted the Nazis with alien technology.
In exchange for slaves. Yeah.
Human slaves.
Human slaves.
Which is, people think that's why they had the Jew camps.
And people think also...
concentration camps, sorry.
That human slavery is a intergalactic thing. We might have been created to be slaves. And multiple intergalactic forces are coming to our planet for split seconds of time, abducting people, and then mass producing these humanoid slaves.
That was another thing this documentary talks about, is that there is an intergalactic slave trade.
The Nazis were exchanging this advanced technology for human slaves to extraterrestrial bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there are people who think that the Dracos first off, there are multiple races of aliens on this planet, not just the Dracos. There's the Greys, there's different factions. The Dracos are purely malevolent.
So are the Greys.
And they have bases on
The moon?
On the moon,
And
Mars.
they also have an underground society in Antarctica.
I almost said America. In Antarctica. In these subterranean tunnels that apparently are like hot as shit because they love the heat. On top of that, during World War II, the Nazis had a lot of this, what do they call it, R&D, the R&D department that they had moved from Germany to Antarctica, and were working on all of these like occult UFO time machines, like demonic type fucking, spell shits. And
I mean, literal spells, mind control, time travel, and interdimensional travel.
After World War II, when the Nazi regime fell and the Third Reich crumbled, the American government, we went in there.
We assimilated them. And we also...
this is not even... We took all this shit and moved it to Area 51. We took all of
their bases in Antarctica, and we took all of their bases across Eastern Europe.
Yeah. This documentary pretty much says that that's what we have at Area 51 is all this Nazi technology.
And that's what Operation Paperclip actually was. It was an acclamation of all of this advanced German technology, which was given to them by extraterrestrials.
And is that why they think that we brought in the Germans into the fold for the because we brought in like Werner von Braun.
Yeah, Werner von
Braun. Yeah, Werner von Braun. Whatever. Anyway, this Nazi science motherfucker brought him in to help. This is not even up for debate. We brought him in.
He
and a bunch of other
Nazis.
Yes, but it pretty much puts out there that we, not just for that reason, that we also, to help us understand the technology that the Nazis already possessed.
Right. It's so we could assimilate their technology
into ours.
Into our military industrial.
So in reality, the UFOs that we probably see flying around in the night sky, not us, but people, are most likely reversed engineered technology that the Dracos gave to the Nazis that then we've recreated. Not so much so that it's actually Dracos flying around. Or Greys flying around. That this is shit that we've made based on schematics that the Nazis had that were given to them by aliens. It also says that there is a basically globalist, Alex Jones type fucking agenda
of
the rich elites. Yeah,
rich elites that have they've strategically placed their bloodline at the 1%. Extreme high margins of wealth and influence across everywhere in the world.
Right. It's
every powerful nation has once been ruled by somebody.
Right.
All of them have direct bloodline to King George the First.
Yeah. And it's King George, but then it goes farther back.
And King George the First was a direct descendant of this Italian guy. I can't remember his name.
The Italian family with the elongated skulls.
Right. And they had elongated skulls.
Basically, all the rich, all the powerful people that actually run the world, presidents, kings, all this stuff, what it's saying is that they are descendants of alien human hybrids.
Yes. And we see evidence of these elongated skulls across every ancient civilization across the planet.
Which this is nothing new. We knew about
Asia, Australia, North America, South America, Europe.
We knew about the Aztecs and the Egyptians all emulating these, Mayan gods. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Egyptians, that's Africa.
Well, yeah, I was just naming them. I only named 5.
Until I saw this documentary, though, I did not know about the Spanish nobility and the French nobility also having these things. Yeah. However, before I ever watched Above Majestic, I had this guy that I worked with at a restaurant few years back who was really into this shit as well. He's actually the one that gave me the Book of Enoch to read.
Right.
And his name's Tommy. Cool dude.
What a read.
Bit of a nut, but
I need to get a copy.
Aren't
myself.
The best people crazy? Crazy.
Well,
anyway, but he's the one that told me that the
Einstein,
Rothschilds,
Tesla,
the Rothschilds could all be traced because the Rothschilds and the oil barons and all the rich elite in this country. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers could all be traced back to this Italian noble family. And I never looked into it. When I saw that, though, that's when I was like, fuck. He had never watched Above Majestic. He did his own research.
And there were several points while watching that where they were telling me shit was true.
Yeah. that we had already
that was
thought.
just a conspiracy that I've heard fucking throughout the years, and now it's like all of this shit is culminating in this one fucking area.
And these people that are in this documentary aren't just like conspiracy theorists; they're historians, which
right, they're archaeological experts.
Yes.
They're fucking biologists, scientists,
they're former Navy officers with
military
high clearance.
Experts.
Yes. What about the old guy who said that he's like I think he died before they had.
I think his name was Tim.
There was this older gentleman who had been a Navy captain, and he claimed that he served under Rico Bata, who was a well-known Navy officer.
And Rico Bata was placed in his position
because they didn't want somebody who had been to Annapolis.
Right, and that Annapolis
was the Navy
was
base.
A place.
Head of Navy
operations. The only
operations.
place you could become a Navy officer was at Annapolis.
They didn't want somebody who was already
but they wanted
military.
Yes, and the crazy thing about Rico Bata was he was appointed Navy admiral without ever going to Annapolis or training.
Right.
For that.
So he was put in this position.
He was created for that.
So that he wouldn't ask questions, because what they had him basically doing was taking Nazi technology that they were using to create UFOs that the Dragos had given them, taking off these propulsion engines, give or whatever, these propulsion engines, and slapping them on the bottom of submarines.
Send that bitch into air.
U.S. submarines, and sending them into space to do deep space missions. You'd have a small crew aboard it, and you'd have them working everything. And then they'd bring them back, take the things off, put them back, and then put them, because they would swap out.
The model of the submarines that they were slapping these anti-gravity devices on and shooting them into space, they were very modular.
Right.
Which means that they had interchangeable parts.
Yes.
You could be a health bay. You could be an...
Right.
Right. You could be a thermonuclear fucking submarine missile one. You could be...
But they also said the reason why they use these submarines was because at any given time, submarines are under the water if they're out. If they're out on a mission, right?
Right.
So you're never going to know if one's missing.
Well, yeah, submarine don't go on land.
Right. But you'd never know if it's missing.
No, you wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's out on a mission right now.
That's the whole point of a submarine. It's for you to not know it's there.
That's what I'm saying. But so let's say it's in space. You're like, oh, well, where's this submarine that's missing? Oh, it's on a mission right now under the water.
Yeah, because we swapped out the front and the back, put it on a different one, and now it has the serial numbers to match up.
Right.
Now, no, we didn't take that submarine.
Yeah.
When in all reality, there is no initial submarine because it's all interchangeable parts.
Right.
It's like a constant modulating fucking thing that they're doing.
Another thing they talk about
is there isn't one single submarine that you can track back to this because of the swapping parts.
Right. Another thing is that that they talk about in this documentary is that the global elite, and these aren't just presidents and like monarchy. These are the real people that run the world, like the 1%ers that you would never know who they are.
The people that have so much money they could literally feed
like
an
the
entire fucking nation.
Bilderberg group type shit.
Right.
The people that really pull the strings, that make the choices, that make the decisions, like that really set the agenda for the world, and that they say that they. I don't know if I believe this.
They make the call, and then the nations fall in line.
They said that they perform satanic rituals, and in reality, what they're doing is they're not. Basically, what I gather from this is that the idea of Satan and demonic forces is not actually.
It's not an actual demonic force they're worshiping. It's in order for you to be your most beast-like form.
Yeah.
And see how far you go.
Right.
And now that I've gotten you to a certain threshold, I now control you.
But the idea
because you don't want anybody else hearing that you did that crazy shit. Now
but the idea of demons and Satan and God and stuff is not. It's not this spiritual thing. It's this alien force.
Well, it could be higher than physical aliens as well.
Right. It could be
because they could be getting influenced from this higher dimensional being.
Could be. But they say that they.
It's all energy.
They say they practice child sacrifice. And they rape, kill, and sell children, and eat children
to fucking ETs,
and that they harvest their adrenochrome, which is like this supposedly this very powerful
And the way that they keep their bloodline going, bro, is from
feasting.
Well, it has part to do with adrenochrome. I think that might just have something with unlocking some sort of psychedelic part while you're doing this evil shit. Then you enter a completely different mental state.
Have you
see what I'm saying?
You've seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, right? Where they take adrenochrome.
Right, but that's completely different.
Right, they're not killing children.
I had this thought about Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas before I get to my other point, but dude, because you had mentioned it a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about the lizard scene.
Yeah.
What if, he's on an insane amount of acid? But people say whenever you're on any kind of psychedelic, it opens up some sort of pineal gland.
Yeah.
And now you're more susceptible to different frequencies and shit like that.
Like other dimensions.
Right.
Right.
What if he went into that bar, all of those people were Draco-reptilians. That's their true form. He saw it because of how hard he was tripping.
Right.
That's just a theory I came up with, which was pretty intriguing, right?
Yeah.
Because he gets there, it's all people having
they're all having sex.
They're all having a malevolently good time, bro.
Yeah.
It's
vile.
It's yes.
Yeah.
It's unsettling.
Right.
How much excitement they are having for doing this shit that I wouldn't find enjoyable.
Right. Reptile sex party.
Yeah.
In the middle of a hotel registration office.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That ain't it.
In the middle of a hotel bar in Las Vegas.
Because we all have this inherent fucking sense of what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
I told you this earlier. We're gifted the ability of free will.
Right.
To make mistakes.
Right.
Not necessarily because we flawed or we're flawed, but we are in a way.
What'd you think of the guy who, not to cut you off, what'd you think of the guy who claims he has a time machine at the end of the documentary?
Oh, that was...
that guy's
I don't know if he was saying he had a time machine.
He said he had a time machine, dude, and he was waiting to die.
I think he did, but then
when he dies, they'll release the schematics, and you can do with it what you will. I don't want to be around for that.
He was mentioning a time machine in that ending segment, but whenever he finished talking, he was talking about blueprints for the saucer.
He was talking about blueprints for the time machine.
Mm-mm.
No, he was.
No. I just watched it.
I watched it just the other day.
He was like, yeah, I think he said that not to throw you off, but just to hint at a bigger picture. But I think he was mentioning just...
I swear that guy said he had built a time machine and had the fucking schematics for it. And
I think he said that, but
he said this can be put together by anyone. Anyone can do it. What do you mean?
Just slap some fucking popsicle sticks together.
Some of the stuff they say is out there, and I don't know.
Tie to your ceiling fan.
I don't know if it's correct, but again, I think.
Dude.
Let's say all of it is true. Everything they've said in this documentary.
Let me get to one more point, and then we'll get to is any of it true?
Right.
But something they said is for these elites to prolong their bloodline, something that they do is what do you think is the most ultimate form of continuing your bloodline? Literally continuing your bloodline. A clone of you.
Yeah, they did say they could. Yeah.
Or your consciousness is transported into, and now you're online.
They said these 1%ers you don't know, they never age, they never die, they never get sick.
Yes.
They could just live forever. Or once they've reached the end of their life,
the man of 1,000 faces,
their body is gone. They move into another body and they move along.
They might, yeah, bro. And then there's also, you remember the part where they're talking about
I do believe human cloning does exist.
The SSP, Secret Space Program?
Yes.
You think any part of that is true?
Yes.
Where there's fucking elaborate bases on the moon.
Maybe on that.
They're trying to establish new
colonies,
strictly elite bloodline civilizations in Antarctica, in these bases.
I mean, it is strange we can't go.
There's a cloaking device.
Obviously the moon we can't go to, but why can't we just travel to Antarctica?
Well, why can't we? We went there before. Why the fuck have we not been back?
Well, they say we don't go back because there's nothing there. So you go, and let's say that's true.
That's bullshit, though.
I know, but
why went there? We were there for 5 minutes.
Right.
Came back. It's a fucking planet.
Right.
You think you know everything on Earth? You sit there in Conway.
Not downtown. Exactly a planet. I don't think there's a water source. I'm sure you could terraform it. You could terraform it,
bro.
Couldn't you?
You're going to you're an alien. You're flying to Earth. Oh, this is an interesting planet. Let me go to this cool looking area. Oh, it's a desert. Looks like nothing's here. Guess that's the whole planet. And then you leave,
the
and then
moon's not
50 miles
exactly a
that
planet,
way,
and
it's fucking
I
ancient
think
Egypt.
we have mapped out some of it. There's certain places like the dark side of the moon. I don't think anyone's been there, right? I don't even think our rovers have been over there.
I think somebody has been there, but they don't tell us. That's where the bases are.
That's what I mean. You think that's where these alien bases are, or these bases that are set up by the elite, or both?
I think both.
Both.
I think. Well, what they said was that there was already a pyramid-like structure there that they then repurposed for a facility so that they could build their new facility.
But it is interesting that so much of the stuff that they said in this documentary sounds like it's straight out of the X-Files alien plot. The syndicate. The syndicate plot.
Aliens.
Yep.
Enslaving humans.
Yep.
On a small scale.
Yep. I mean, basically, in X-Files, they make a deal with the American government.
Even the Kennedy shit, dude.
Yes, they make a deal with the American government where they are going to come back later on and they will harvest the people they want, and they will spare
They've given it up on trying to fight the aliens.
Right.
Now they're trying to compromise with them.
Right. And they will spare the elite.
We'll give you so many souls if you spare this group that helps you obtain the souls.
Right. And even within the group member, they talk about, there's no chance of us backing out of this now and like backstabbing them. And they're like, no, it's too late. And of course, Mulder comes along and fucks their whole shit up. Thank you, Fox Mulder.
Is fucking...
Mulder ain't having none of that.
Holy shit.
He wants to know where his sister is. He never finds her. Never finds her. Well, that's the whole reason why he got into this shit.
Right. Dude, Fox Mulder is such a cut above the rest. We'll get into X-Files on a whole other episode.
Another day.
But, dude. But what do you think's true? What do you think's a stretch?
I don't think this man has a time machine. I do believe the thing about the Nazis.
Yeah.
We already know that they were into the occult. We already know. I do think that it's very possible. Do you think they
actually came in contact with another...
I do believe the Draco-Reptilians
galactic
are real.
Humanoids?
I believe that there are several races of alien that have been to this Earth. I don't know that I believe in intergalactic slave trade, but it makes a lot of sense.
I think I do believe in that.
It makes sense.
And that's the scariest thing, though.
Because what? People are alike all over. We did it here on Earth. Several, most cultures had slaves. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if aliens also did that. I mean, they definitely don't think of us as equals,
No.
And we are prime for the taking. And there are so many people that have claimed to be.
And what's crazy is when we mention us,
claim to be abducted.
We think about us as in me and you and the guy down the street.
Yeah.
But the actual people running our planet and probably being representatives for these fucking ETs.
Yeah. Well,
are not the right people we want representing our fucking planet.
No. They're
the people fucking compromising, selling people.
Yeah.
And doing this crazy shit.
Because we're nothing to them.
But I told you earlier, we're gifted free will.
Mm-hmm.
We have the option to do bad. Everyone does bad.
Right.
But we're also gifted morality.
Right.
Which makes us aware of the bad we did and feel guilt. And if you don't feel guilt when you do bad things, you probably just have a psychological disorder.
Well, yeah.
Something like that.
Right.
But it's because I feel we are created by something good. Not necessarily Christian God. Maybe all of them are the same thing. Maybe all of it, not that they are the same
I think
thing.
so.
I think it might all lead to this 12-dimensional, ethereal thing of good and an ethereal thing of bad. And maybe they were once the same. And then he sent the bad force down to the lower dimensions. And now evil is trying to reach up.
Like the devil, yeah.
Like the devil would.
Like the devil could be.
Like
the
a metaphorical but very literal sense of hell and good and evil and heaven.
I don't think that the Dracos are the ones that created us. By any means. Yeah, no.
But
they're not.
They could have been a creature created by the devil, though. Or created by the force of evil.
Like they're the demons.
They could be.
Mm-hmm.
they could be.
Apart from that,
I'm not saying that they are, because if they come and then I actually have a chance to talk to one, and he's not a dick, then I will feel like a dick.
You gave the Book of Enoch a read, right?
No,
or a
not
peep.
Yet.
You gave it a peep?
No, I've just watched videos explaining
in the Book of Enoch, about Enoch is transported from earth to heaven, right? And he sees the different levels of heaven, and he says that on heaven, there is a pit, and the pit leads to hell, right? And that's where
is the pit a portal to a
this
separate planet?
This is what I think.
Or is it like a pocket dimension?
This is what I think. I think that Enoch was taken to the planet where our creator race came from, right? There is a king there on that planet that serves as he rules over the rest of the people from that planet.
See, but does he have a power over ethereal spiritual souls and shit? Because I really do think that we do have some sort of
psychic powers, but I don't think that
I really do think that we have some sort of spirit, bro, and that when we die, something does happen.
I don't. See, I don't.
I think it's just it's impossible to say that nothing happens.
It's not. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that anybody should believe that, but this is what I think. I think that there is a God, but he is an extraterrestrial, and that he created us.
Is there a God, or are there
gods?
Okay,
the
God that you're mentioning, though, is he also the creator of these negative humanoid forces, such as the Greys and the Dracos?
I think so. Well, I don't know, because I don't think that. I think that the race of alien that created us is not the Dracos or the Greys. I don't know what they look like, or what we would call them, Anunnaki, whatever. But they are the benevolent force that has helped us shape our civilization in various ways. And through all ancient texts, there are stories of, even in the Bible, the sons of God came down and had wives with humans, and those were the heroes of old. That's the same shit.
Right, and they were the Nephilim.
That's the
demigods.
Right, and they were that's the same shit as the demigods, where there's the head honcho Zeus, and then there are the lesser gods that basically are the same thing as angels, right? And then you have the ones that are
Zeus, who was the father god, pretty much.
Right, but then you also have in Christian and Judaism, you have this malevolent force that were once part of God's kingdom, right? And I don't think that's the Dracos. I think that might be an entirely separate race of alien. I think the Dracos might be some entirely different shit. But
who created the Dracos, man?
I don't know. Who created the aliens that created us?
See,
but don't know. But
see, but when you mention the word God and you refer to the beings you're talking about, you're not thinking about like an afterlife or anything like that, are you? You're just thinking of a physical entity that just has technology that's able to traverse time, traverse space,
and maybe
traverse matter,
and maybe they instructed our ancestors to worship them. Maybe we worship them because of
and
the
I'm
things
saying
they
there
were
could
giving
be
us.
a higher thing that created even them.
Yes,
because if they're alive, they're fucking millions, whatever, billions, years old.
But I also do believe in evolution, and I think if you give something long enough to evolve, it then can create other life. We're doing it now. We can clone. We can clone shit. We can take lamb DNA and create. We could create a human if we wanted to.
Well, now we're creating something that's non-human, bro.
What's that?
The AI.
Oh yeah, of course. But
I mean, eventually AI is going to have a central, general, fucking understanding of what it is and what it is capable of, and have a physical body, and also be linked into whatever its predecessor told it to be linked into.
Right. This is going to have to be a multi-part discussion where we talk about all this stuff.
We're going to bring this up multiple times.
Yeah. But I think
the next episode is not going to continue this conversation.
Right.
Just so you guys know, but we're going to continue this
at a later date.
Above Majestic shit.
But yeah, if you haven't seen Above Majestic, because I think we should probably wrap up so we can get to what we're doing. But if you haven't seen Above Majestic, it's on Tubi. Check that out. We're also going to be talking about a documentary called Zeitgeist coming up. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch it. That way you can follow along with us when we talk about that.
Right. And guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and watch episode 15 and 16 of the ScareMeTender show.
Yes.
They just came out a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
You might have noticed it in your feed. You might not have. I don't know. It's a roll of the dice with YouTube.
But go back. This when this comes out. This will be episode 17. No, this will be episode 18.
This is 17. This is 17.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
No, because we just
16 was Twilight Zone.
Because monkey episode was 15, was it?
No,
or was that 14?
The Monkey Sode chapter 2 was 14.
Okay.
Episode 15 was Teriology for Dummies.
Right.
16 will be
Teriology.
What should we call episode 16? Something regarding Twilight Zone.
It's Twilight time. It's Twilight time.
We'll just call it Twilight Hour.
Yeah. Now I'm sipping into the Twilight Zone. You know that song? When the bullet hits the bone. But you know what that song? You know what that song's actually about?
Heroin.
No, it's about the guy who wrote that song is a big fucking fan of Jason Bourne. Those movies.
Oh.
That song is about Jason Bourne. The Matt Damon shit. It was a book before it was a movie.
God.
The Bourne Legacy and stuff.
It's Jason Bourne.
Yeah, but anyway, we're gonna sign off. Guys, check out all that stuff we mentioned, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Right. Hit that subscribe button.
That's
hit
right.
that bell. Hit
Ding,
that
ding,
like
ding,
button.
ding, ding, ding.
Hit that comment button. Hit whatever button you feel like.
Yeah.
Except for the thumbs down.
Right, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
If
Anyway.
you do it, you'll be seriously reprimanded by the Dracos.
We'll sick them on you.
And we're not talking guns. We're talking ETs.
What's it? Draco's a gun?
Yeah.
Is it? Anyway, have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. I'm Will.
I'm Tanner.
This is ScareMeTender. Bye.
Sayonara.